Welcome to the left hand of God. Sacred stories read for the structure underneath them, from an angle nobody else takes. We're reverent toward the text, but unsentimental and precise. Today, we're examining a single, strange anomaly within the book of Revelation. We aren't predicting dates. We aren't mapping modern world events. We're conducting a strict, structural reading of the scripture itself, focusing on a contradiction that quietly breaks how this entire text is usually understood.
We begin in Revelation chapter 10 with an image of staggering scale. An enormous angel descends from heaven. He's wrapped in a cloud, a rainbow is positioned over his head, and his face shines like the sun. The text is deeply deliberate in its geography here. The angel plants his right foot on the sea and his left foot on the land. He stands over the entirety of the world, commanding absolute, inescapable authority over the earth and the oceans. It's a portrait of ultimate finality.
Standing over the earth, the angel raises his right hand to heaven, and he swears a monumental oath. The text reads, "There shall be no more delay." It's a profound, earth-shattering declaration. Yet hidden within the sheer scale of the imagery and the absolute finality of the angel's voice is a quiet, structural admission. To swear that there will be no more delay is to confess that a delay has already occurred. The grand machinery of judgment was paused. Time, for a moment, was held back.
Part 1. The Hidden Contradiction. We must turn coldly into the paradox that drives the engine of this entire text. We've established the angel's oath, but we must weigh it against the very foundation of the book itself. The contradiction is stark when laid out plainly. In Revelation chapter 1, verse 3, the text states explicitly, "The time is near." This is the premise given to the reader at the absolute outset, impending, immediate action. Yet, by Revelation chapter 10, the angel is forced to swear that the delay is finally over. We're presented with a text that demands two impossible realities at once. In chapter 1, the end is near. In chapter 10, the end was delayed.
Look at a standard timeline, a straight line representing a sequence of events from start to finish. This is how the human mind naturally organizes narrative: beginning, middle, end. A countdown. But if you place Revelation chapter 1 and Revelation chapter 10 on this straight line, the structure shatters. A straight line simply cannot hold both an immediate end and a suspended sequence without collapsing. If the time was near at the beginning, the prolonged delay at the middle completely breaks the line.
We are forced to confront an impossible contradiction. How can the end be near, yet delayed? Sit with the complete failure of the linear timeline. The text isn't flawed. Our structural approach to it is. The straight line is dead. We must find a geometry that actually supports the paradox. Part 2. The shape is a circle.
The straight line reading must be abandoned completely. We aren't looking at a linear sequence of events marching toward a single vanishing point. To resolve the contradiction, we have to change the shape of how we read the scripture. There is only one geometric shape that solves the paradox of Revelation, a shape that is always in motion, always moving forward, yet always delayed from reaching a final endpoint. That shape is a circle. This is the structural secret of the text.
The true structure of Revelation is not a timeline. It's a recurring circular mechanism. It operates as a wheel. The events described aren't points on a line you pass once and leave behind forever. They are revolutions. The cycle turns, it reaches a threshold, and it turns again. The time is near because the wheel is always moving. There is a delay because the final conclusion is continually suspended as the cycle resets.
Part 3. Silence and the Seals.
Let's apply this circular shape to the mechanics of the scripture itself. We see this mechanism explicitly in the sequence of the seals. Consider the opening of the 7 seals. The first 6 seals are broken, unleashing war, famine, and cosmic upheaval. The narrative builds to what should be the ultimate climax on a linear timeline. But then, the 7th seal is opened. And what happens? Nothing. There is silence in heaven for about half an hour. This profound silence is the mechanical reset. It's the absolute proof that the text is not moving down a line, but turning on a wheel. The silence holds the linear progression. The delay is enacted, and the cycle turns again.
Part 4. The Culmination at Laodicea.
A turning wheel isn't a static object. It gathers momentum, and it gathers weight. The wheel of Revelation is not just spinning idly in space. With every single revolution, it's accumulating sin. Turn over turn, cycle over cycle. The weight of human failure and divine judgment fills the mechanism. The delay sworn by the angel isn't a reprieve. It's a compounding of the inevitable. The burden grows heavier with every rotation.
We see this accumulation perfectly mapped in the sequence of the 7 churches.
The letters to the churches aren't just geographical, they're a structural progression. From Ephesus to Philadelphia, the flaws and compromises compound. This structural sequence reaches its absolute peak at the final church, Laodicea. Laodicea is described by the text as lukewarm, wretched, pitiful, poor, and blind. It is the culmination of the cycle. It's the exact point on the wheel where the accumulated weight of human failure reaches maximum capacity, and the delayed judgment finally inevitably arrives.
We return to the beginning. The time is near. Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. But you must read it now, not as a point on a distant timeline. You must read it with the immense accumulated weight of the turning wheel behind it. The time is near not because a date on a calendar is approaching, but because the mechanism is full. The oath has been sworn by the angel on the sea and the land. There shall be no more delay.
The linear timeline was always an illusion. The scripture operates as a mechanism of cycles, compounding across generations. The wheel of accumulated history, of repeated failure and delayed judgment, never stopped turning. The time is near for you, tonight, not as a prediction of the future, but as a structural reality of the present. The ancient wheel is still turning, and you are standing on it.